Hello guys. Good evening everyone. I hope am I audible to all of you? Yeah, good evening Viresh. Good evening Bindu. So I hope screen is visible to all of you, right? Yes. So is there anyone facing any technical issues? You can just drop us a message. If screen is visible to all of you, just thumbs up and give us a reply. Yeah. So let's begin the session 2. So with that today's session, so first we'll like to check. Okay. So I hope yesterday the content what we have done till yesterday, which is there in okay. So let me demonstrate you the application, chat application. So how it's going to work. So what are the prerequisites to develop the complete chat application API? Clear? So we'll see we'll run the complete application. We'll look into the whole content. So how it's going to work. So what are the prerequisites which is required for your developing this application? Okay. Clear? So I hope you guys you have yesterday's code. So first let us run the client and server first. So make sure that you can target the client using one command prompt. So you can use the command npm run, npm start, sorry, to start the server first. So make sure that if your server is connected properly to the port number, then you can start the client. And yesterday, actually, we have designed this the basic view of the window, the chat window. Okay. And also we have noticed that. So we were observing the socket connectivity. So we have a various the stages of observing the socket connectivity. As a first stage, so depending on your number of client connections, so how many connections are getting connected to the socket, the web socket, so it will generate the individual client ID. So make sure that in your server, okay, so in a server console log, so we can able to see the client ID because we are running the first session of chat application. Okay, so if you take another tab and if you rerun the same application again, so will be considered as a second chat window. So now you can notice your client socket, which will generate you the another socket ID for your client. So these socket IDs, so which is completely auto generated by the socket server for each individual user, depending on the each individual user. So it will give a random socket ID. Clear? Now first let us open the server index. So can you just make sure that you are opening the server index? And parallelly, we'll open the client app.js file in another window. So I hope it is visible to all of you. So let us connect our chat application, the server to the chat socket. See, now still we are receiving only the socket ID from the front end. Clear? So we have established the client connection. So with the front end, and front end will going to give us the complete the details. Okay, the socket ID of each individual user. So now what we have to do? So we have to establish the connection. So by establishing the connection with the front end, okay, so we have to listen a custom. We have to develop a custom event. So that will read your complete the information from the chat information or chat message from your front end. So let us go to the front end. And we'll display will just write, you can just write the after the socket client connection socket. So you can write the handler to check. So the connection, to check the connection between the connected connection between the clients, right? And also we're going to print. So we print the socket ID which is generated by your server in in individual client chat box. So how to read it, that we will see. So we have to call the function, with reference to the socket. You have to call the event called on method, so which contains the two parameters. So first one will hold your connectivity, which is a connect method, and we're going to write the callback function in it. So this callback function, so you have to call the function called display message. See, we have a function here, display message, to print our output on your chat box. So let us call it and let us display the message. So first, before displaying it, can you just notice your chat? Can you see in both the chat window? So we can able to see the same message, right? We'll display the message of successful socket connectivity. We call socket.id. Are you able to see this? So for each individual user, it will generate the individual random sockets. Okay, so that will be given back, like written back with the help of callback function to the clients. See, using React, or even if you are using any other the frameworks, whether React, Angular, Vue, or even if you're developing any mobile applications, so the basic functionality of the socket is very important to you. The backend and the React frontend will going to help you to handle your functionalities of your either chat message or chat rooms, but you need to understand the core of your socket. Jitesh, yes. Don't you have a code? Okay. So we require to do a lot of the primary setup. So don't worry, we will forward you the code. And technically those who are facing the errors, so they can, so after the session, right? So we will arrange you the one more session for tomorrow. So in that session, we're going to resolve you the technical details, and also you can even connect us for the future discussions. Right. So let us discuss here clearly. So how the application going to work? Yes, definitely, Amir. We'll provide you. So first, guys, understand the complete conceptual thing which is behind the socket IO. So which is the core of your chat application. Okay. So connecting to the database and we will store the data. That will be the secondary thing once you understand the basic functionality of your chat. Right. So right now what you have established. So we established the connectivity from the server and client, and for each individual client. So it will generate the new socket ID. Now, if you want, you can even run the code in another tab. So you can check, will generate you another random ID. Okay. So this is very important for each individual user to understand the main core concept. For each individual user will create the individual job ID. So that will be created by your socket. Okay. So, and even if you notice, so if you keep on refreshing, your job ID will going to change for same user. And each time it will create the random job ID. So once until the chat will going to establish or the chat will going to finish. So this job ID will be allocated to that user. Once the socket connectivity is done, once the job will be finished, so that it will destroy your socket IDs. So for another new connectivity, it will generate the new ID. Is that clear? So let us continue this. We have a lot to study here. So let us move back to the server index.js file. See, left side what you have, which is your server file, and right side what you have, app.js, which is a client. Okay. So the client app.js file. So please do remember that. So next, very important thing. This is the first job what we have to do here. As a second thing, so we will develop a custom listener. So all are inbuilt methods with the socket. Just we have to call with reference to the events. So this custom listener will create a custom chat events. So when you are creating any such custom events, we're going to call the socket.on. So you can give any event name, say, for example, here, my event. Okay, so that is just an event name which I have provided here. So I'm just going to send some of the properties. A callback function. Okay, so in that callback function, so let me just say custom event. Okay, we'll just keep on displaying the connected message. We'll come back to the front end again. So how to create? See, we have already created the custom event in our server. Okay, so with reference to this custom event, right? How to send the data to that custom events to the servers. So what we going to learn? Okay, need here the emit method. Socket.emit method. So specifically the socket.emit method will allow us to set up a connection between the client and the server. Okay, to listen the events coming down from the server. So now we are sending some of the method. Okay, the properties. So what is your event name? My event. I'm going to send some properties here. Say for example, 123, some number. I'm going to string hello. So this is V1, some string. Okay, we'll send some random like an object. Say like name John, age 24. Right? You can notice in our event, so we were sending the properties. So you have to specify the name of the event and your properties. So as a property, you can send the different numbers. You can send the string. You can send even an object. Okay, right? So we'll check how your system is going to recognize this event. So can you just notice your server? See, server is receiving the custom event in a console log. But is it displaying any data? No, right? From the client, we already dispatched some of the properties, which is in terms of number, string, and object. But none of the properties are getting accessed here. The reason? So we have to define the proper. Okay. So for those parameters, you have to return an object structures here. Okay, like number, string, and an object. And you can directly access the number, string, and an object. Just save it and look into this server. As we hit the refresh button, as your socket will get connect. Can you notice here? Are we getting the number? And we are getting the string. So but object is not in the destructured format. Object will not be destructured here. Okay, so which you are going to get object of object. Say, for example, if you are going to directly print the obj.name property as a name of the person, obj.age as age of a person. Clear? So as it get refresh, so if we hit the refresh button on your front end, are we able to see the values now? So what exactly it indicates? So from your client socket, right? So we are sending the messages to the server so that the server is going to receive the messages of any data type. Okay, for that, you're going to use socket.emit method in a client. Hope you clear this. And majorly, emit is going to take any event you want to send it to the server. Okay, so we can name the event anything we want. So because there is no restriction to name the events, right? So what are the events which you are going to create in your emit method? The same event name which you are going to access in your socket in a server. Clear? So let me comment this emit method. And let me comment the listener of your my event. So let us move to the next method. So now we have successfully sent the data to the client to server. And so we have to send. So whatever the messages we have received in the server, you have to send back that responses to the client. Clear? So let us declare one handler here. So first to receive or handling the messages which is receiving from the client and send the response back to the client again. For that, you have to create an event socket.on. So I'm just defining the method event name called out message. And I'm going to pass the message here in our server. So here you're going to specify IO is the socket instance dot emit method So first we do the console log, then we can emit it. So let us check first with the console log. So what is the message we have received here? Then we will send that message back to the client. Well, we'll go to the message button and so we have a add event listener, join add. OK, the send event add listener, right? So which displays the message. So can you observe here? So whatever the message we are going to type here. See, we can't able to see the ID now. Hi. Can you see? It will accept your message. Welcome to chat. The messages what you have sent it to the property. OK. Can you notice? So which is not receiving any messages from the server in a server, right? So the reason we have received the the message from the input box, but we are not emitting that message to the socket. What is the socket name? Event name. So here you have to call socket dot emit, call the event out message and pass that message. Sorry, you have to call it inside the send listener. Now you can notice. Let me connect. Hi. Welcome to chat. See, we have sent a message. And look at here. You are receiving the messages in server. Now message has reached the server. You can just test another message. There's a test message. Right? So we are receiving the test messages to the server. Now from server, we will hide this console log. We have to return the data back to the client. So whatever messages we have received, we have to return it back and we'll display this message. So here you have to call to return the the message to the client. IO dot emit. See, I'm just going to mention for my reference the response from server. You just pass the message. Clear? So what we have done using socket.emit, you have sent a message to the server, socket server, where it will receive that through the event and will send this emit the response back to the client again. I hope it's clear to you. And let us use here. So we'll write one condition. If not a message, if there is no message, return null. Otherwise, print a message So just I'm returning as client. Clear? So that will be easy for you to understand. So after this socket, what you do? You just clear the input to your message in input dot value, clear the message. So let us test. Hi. Can you notice here? So even the receiver will emit the message, but still it is not received by your socket. You mean it's not printing the value? What you have to do? Let us refresh. Let us send it back again. See, none of the clients are receiving the messages. So what we have to do? So let us cross check whether we have. So we are emitting the socket response with reference to the emit method, and we are receiving it. What is the name we have given here? We haven't given any name, right, to our messages. So we have just simply emitted it. So we have to assign the event name, that is response message. Please make sure that if you are not assigning any event names, so it will reach the server, but it will not receive it in a client. Okay. Now we can call it. So just go to the socket. We already have a display message, right? So receive the message. Response message. We have to create a one more handler here. Socket.on. What is the name of the event? Response message. So let us create the callback function. And we have to display this message as a replay in your chat window. So let us cross check now. It has to work now. I hope you got the connectivity properly. See, I'm choosing the first window. I'm going to write hi. Can you see? We have sent a message. So from client, we are getting the reply called hi. And can you notice here? Only client is not receiving the proper display. The sender, except sender, we are getting the message to everyone. So let us cross check. Okay, sorry. Here is a concatenation error. Comma will not work when you use the backtick. That is the reason we were not getting that. Okay. Yeah. Hi. This is Ganesh. Can you see here? So from the client one, the first chat window, which we are sending, hi, this is Ganesh. And look at the response. Even the sender is receiving the response along with other two clients are receiving the same response. Have you noticed here? So I think, am I audible to all of you? Yeah. So what exactly there is a some bug here. So let me open the two windows. To maximize it so that you can able to see that properly. Yeah. I hope it's visible now. So just notice. So another test message I'm going to send. So once the sender sent a message, yes, fine. Another receiver is receiving the message. It's broadcasting the message to every people, but make sure even the client is receiving the same response back again. That should not happen. Correct? You know, if you are chatting in WhatsApp or in other chat window, if you chat with your friend, so whatever the messages you're going to send, will you get it back? Obviously no, right? Because already we have a message here. What are the message we have sent? So we should not get any replay as a copy from our to our window only. Only that has to be sent to the client. So from the client again we have to receive it back to the server. Is that clear? Are you guys clear? So let me clear you one more time. So let us say, so this is your server end. Let us say this is your client end. Okay, let me clear both the sessions. So if I'm sending any message to the chat, okay, server, only the another client has to receive the message, but should not send the same message back to the sender again. We have to avoid it. To avoid that, we have a built-in functionality, what we call as broadcasting. Socket broadcasting. Am I clear? So this broadcast avoid the response sent back to the same the sender who emit the message. Right? So let us use the same. See, for your reference, I'm just leaving those responses there itself. I'm rewriting the code. So you have to add broadcast io.broadcast.emit. So let us recheck now. Now you can notice so as you sent, only the client is receiving. We are not getting any reply from the server, right? Socket, okay, sorry, should not be IO, should be a socket broadcast. Okay, so let us test. Hello user. Can you see that? Now we'll send the message from the second client. Can you see? Are you clear, guys? So now the perfect chatting which is establishing between the two users. Clear? So now you can notice if I'm going to connect one more client again. See, this is a client 3. Hi, this is welcome to chat. Can you notice? Both the clients will receive the same reply. Now you can notice. So from the third, hi, I'm wrong. Just now I joined. Can you see? Is that clear to all of you? Now it is establishing a group chat. Clear? So where the broadcast will help you to socket broadcast will help you to send a messages to the multiple client. Suppose if you are in the group chats. So but what it will do, it's like a group chat, but in reality, it will send that message to the all clients So those are connected to your socket. Hope you're clear now. So if you are clear with the concepts, can you just thumbs up, and can you just, if you have any questions, you can just tell me the questions till here. Those are online. I think I'm audible to all of you. If the concept is clear, so till then, so you can thumbs up. If you have any questions, you can ask me the questions here. So till that, they're establishing the chat between and along with the broadcasting. Next, we are going to do very interesting thing, creating the private chat rooms. Mohammad Asad. So you see, one more thing I'll clear to all of you. These sessions will be recorded and will be provided if you guys are properly okay, because it's one of the very important concepts with reference to the sockets. If you want to build any of such complex applications, so your involvement in such a workshop throughout the workshop will be, you have to show your involvement. So understand the concepts. So that will help you in your future. So where if you are attending an interview where you are developing any of the applications. Okay. Shall we continue the so if you're okay for all of you, the concept till here, so just thumbs up and will let me continue. Thank you. Thank you. So just drop me a clear and just you can thumbs up and you can tell me that we will continue. So next concept. So we have learned how to send the messages to the multiple clients, how to establish the individual client ID, how to check the responses, and how to broadcast the messages to the multiple clients. Now we are learning how to create private chat rooms, which is very important while developing the chat applications. So can you imagine if you have a private chat room? Okay, so like you know, in WhatsApp one-to-one message, suppose if you are chatting with your friends, or if you are not in a group chat, I'm not okay, in the individual chats. So you only the two different persons will going to have a individual chats, right? So either from the user one, and it will be established with user two. So if you are working with the group chats, what will happen? So there are multiple users which is connected to the single group, right? And that group chat will going to give you the complete. Again, in both the scenarios, there is a establishment of private room. Okay, so your socket will allocate you the individual private rooms for individual groups, or private chatting for your individual the persons. So where we can establish your private chatting. Clear? So let me show you. Say for example, here only we have an individual ID. By using this ID, so we can create a separate rooms, the private chat rooms. So we can establish only the communication or chatting between the respective client. Let me demonstrate you that. So we will stop this broadcasting of the message. The next point. creating private chat rooms. So let us create a separate event here. Socket.on. Already we have a property. So which is already there. The out message will make use of the same. The only thing what you have to pass here, room. Just pass the room parameter. If room is equal to empty, mean if room is not allocated, or you can say if room is null. Establish the public chat. Then you can call socket broadcast.emit. Response message. So we just apply the messages here. We'll see. Else here, if room there is a room value, create private chat rooms, and we'll call the socket.to. So this to method will receive the room. It will help you to create private room. Inside that we emit the response message. So let us see here. So this is actually the name of the event. Sorry. I have to rename my string here. So let me rename it as public message. Let me rename as private messages. So that will be easy for you to analyze. So very simple. If room value is empty, so it will it will directly throw the response message as a public message. If room value is there present, so we establish the chat room and we'll emit the message. So what we have to do here? So we have our room input, right? So let us access this room input inside the send listener. Let room input dot value. So along with the socket dot out message, you just pass the room along with the message. You just pass the room. That's it. You don't have to make any other different changes here. Let us test our application. Okay, so you can observe very clearly. We have a total 3 clients here, right? Client 1, client 2, client 3. So let me just send the public message now. So this is test message. Can you notice? We got the test message. Both the clients are received the same test message. Is that clear to all of you? Now let us test our private rooms. So what I'm going to make here, I'm going to create one room. Let me create a name. So let me just give a name called Earth. This is my chat room name. I'll say join. Can you notice here? What is the message we got? Join to room. Right? But actually, for join method, we were just printing the message. That's it. We are not establishing any event here. So what I'll prefer, let me just copy the client ID, the generated client ID, paste it in a room, and let me send here. Hi. How are you? Can you observe here? What we got? The private message. And look into the another user. Have you noticed this user has received any message? No, right? So here there is no such public message because it's a purely the private message. We are using the client ID as our room ID, and we are sending the message to private message to that particular single user. Now, if I want to send private message to this user, let me copy and I'm going to drop it in our same room. I'm fine. This client has sent a private message. Only we got the private message in our the user ID, which is ending with AAA1. And now you can notice the last I asked user. Can you notice? Okay, he is getting any messages? Have you noticed? So now you have successfully established the private chat rooms, but these private chat rooms so are not stick to that, right? Like we were copying the user ID from one user ID. So and for each individual user IDs, we are passing into the join method. Then we were working on it. So that is not an actual way of communicating or creating the IDs, right? So you have to pass the ID, like each time you have to pass the individual user IDs, then only it will establish the private room chat with that client. Am I clear? So instead of that, so we can create some individual group, some group name we can allocate. So and we can make the multiple users to join to that respective group to establish the chat. Clear? That you call as private rooms. Are you guys clear? So next what we do, we will clear both the sockets. Even all the sockets I'm getting clear. Okay, I'm clearing it. Let me go back to the code. So we have a event listener. So which is giving you the room input and will display the input in your chat box. So we make use of it. We create an event here. So if you want to send a message to the multiple people, as I said, but not to the everyone, we want to take that room and we want to join that room. OK, so we will create one function called join room. And join room event is going to take the input from that room event, the room input. OK, we have input box for to create a room name. It will accept it. That will be sent to the server. OK, and actually it will pass that to the callback function that displays a message. Right, and this callback function is going to get called by your server, will receive it and reply it back to the client. Let us see how to implement it. OK, so creating a room in a client front end. Client means front end. So we have to call the emit method. We'll give an event name called join room. So we'll pass your name of the room. And we use the callback message, callback function. So this callback function will replay this and we'll send it back to the chat box to display that output. Clear? Now we have to handle this join room in our server. So whatever the data which is coming to the server, which is a room ID. OK, and that will be send it back to the client. So rooms are really good for being able to create different users. OK, so for group chats, gaming rooms, right? So specifically the exact like your WhatsApp group chat or even Telegram group chats. OK, so we write the callback function here. So this is the out message callback function. After this, we'll write separate event to handle the room inputs. Say socket.on and the event name is join room. We'll get the room and a callback function. Can you observe? Along with the event name, you are getting the room as well as callback function. So both you have to create a parameter, you have to receive it. So we'll call the socket.join method join to the room. After successfully joined, we have to use this callback method. So send a join message, join a room, and you can just display the room name. Or you can say successfully joined a room. OK, clear? Shall we test it? And send response message to the client, or you can say front end. So these are the main properties you have to learn in your backend and front end. Instead of this the JavaScript front end, we can make use of any front ends. But mainly, these are the properties which you have to learn how to handle it. So let us clear. Well, we'll go back and we'll clear. Let me clear. Okay, I'm going to give a join the first. I'll write the public message we will send. See, we got the public message in both the clients. Let me create the chat room. Say test room. I'll say joined. Can you see? We'll get the message. Join to test room. Clear. So let us send the message here. Hi. This is private message. Can you notice here? None of the users will receive those messages. Let me join to the test mode from another client. We joined a test room again. Now let me send test on full stack. Just a message. Can you see here? And just look at the suppose if he joined test room. Clear? Now you can see. Welcome to all. Are you clear, guys? Both are receiving the private messages now. Am I audible? Have you noticed here? Now we'll establish one more client and we'll cross check how many users we can join to the same group. See now. Test room. Hi. So welcome to new. So I'll just send as a test room only. Can you see? He hasn't joined. Okay, we'll send the message again. Now he is joined. Hi, this is John. See, one user received the private message. Can you notice? Second user receives the same private message. And look at here. Even third user receives the same private message. I hope it's clear to all of you. So now we are successfully established the connectivity. Clear. And also we are receiving the messages. So we are sending back to the server. Okay, sending back to the client, and we are handling that message in your private room. See, here we have an issue. Instead of displaying this client message, I'm going to display the message which is coming from the server. Actually, we haven't received this successfully joined the room, right? Here I haven't noticed. So parameter is MSG, but here I have written as message. That's why we were not receiving this. Okay. We will cross check. Now you can notice it's been clear. Your chat room is clear now. Let's say star war. Can you see? You can say star war. So star war is running between these two clients. Hi. Welcome to Bangalore. See. Now you can notice the other two clients which will not connect to the join to the same room. What for your knowledge purpose, what I do? See, first two users are joined to the star war. They are in the one private room. And the other two users, I'm going to create another private room. Let us see parallelly the two different private rooms are going to work or not. So let me create a Bepractical. See, one user has successfully joined. Let me just hit Bepractical. Can you notice the other two users? They are already in one group chat, and we have established another group chat with another two users. Not only two, you can join any number of users here. Just for your test purpose. Hi. So this is welcome message. Can you see? What happened here? So let me join both the users. See, another socket is already running. The individual. Okay. The star war group. Here you can notice. Let me send here. Hello. See, they are receiving and replaying the message. Let me send from here. Hello. So only. Yeah. We got it. Clear. I hope we haven't got, sorry. No. So parallelly, it is not allowing us to run the two clients. So let me dismiss the two clients. will refresh. We'll just write a chat room will create. Clear. We'll send a message. Hi. So we are getting it. So we were running in the same window and your same browser. So that will block the two different chat groups to active in the same browser. Okay. So if we establish and if you work with some other browser, so let me take the browser, another browser. We'll cross check our functionalities. Say moon. Here also we'll establish the same. Okay. So these two are joined to the same moon. Hi. Welcome to group. Yeah. Are we clear? Now you can observe. So these two are running a Bepractical. Completed Monstack course. Can you notice here? See? So the chatting is establishing between the two users here. Okay. If you want, you can even establish another client join to the same room. He will receive the same message. Not another different room. He has to join to the same room in the same browser. See? Clear? Are you guys clear? Can you see? Are you clear, guys? But these messages will not be established between the other two groups. I hope this concept is clear to all of you. So then the next very important thing. So we are going to observe. So blindly we were observing the sockets, IDs and private chat rooms. Exactly, we don't know how the structures are. Okay. So some UI should be there. If it is a better, if you have a UI, so which can monitor your entire connectivities, that will be great, right? So we have such UI. We already installed the package to enable the UI connectivity between the sockets. So can you observe? We have a socket IO admin UI. So which is installed in your server. So what we can do? So let us import. We use the require method, socket admin UI. There is a constant called instrument, which is a built-in. And at the end, we have to call the instrument function, pass socket reference as parameter. So we're going to call the instrument IO. There is an authentication here actually. So we have to use an object where authentication. So we have to make it false. So what will going to happen? This will in the whatever the sockets, the connectivity we have established. So we can able to see this socket connectivity. OK, and we can refer it in your admin panel. So let us enable the admin panel. We have to go to the browser. Let me show you. There is a URL called https admin.socket.io. I hope all of you can able to see this. So, but you can notice here, which is giving a pop-up of username and password. Until unless we enter the username and password, it is not allowing us to connect. Correct? So what is the initial the URL address your socket is going to be running now? Which is HTTP localhost 3000 port number. And we are enabling the admin namespace, say /admin. And for username and password, initially we have given authentication false. OK, so that without any authentication, it has to allow us to log in. When I hit connect. So what we got? Can you notice? So we got the CORS policy where it will block your local host port number 3000 to access between your server port number. So what we are accessing the admin socket IO can't able to access this localhost port number as CORS policy block the origin. Now we have to enable this CORS policy. To enable that CORS policy, just go back to your code. Otherwise, it will not allow us to establish the connection. Here, let us specify your CORS URL admin.socket.io. We'll save it. Got it? And socket cars. So make sure that we have to cross check our server is refreshed. And what we do, we'll block this console log so that we can able to monitor the server refreshed properly. See, server is restarted again. Now we will refresh the front end. We specify the server URL. Already we have here, say connect. Oops. Still we got the same CORS policy error. We have an option here called advanced options. Can you notice here? Here the WebSocket is not at all enabled. Clear? And let me enable and we'll try one more time. We got the invalid namespace. And we'll select message bar parser. Same. We will try the direct namespace connect. Perfect. Are you able to see this UI now? Along with the time log, it will display the complete socket usage, how many sockets are getting connected. I hope all of you are able to see the screen. Yes. And we will write one small event here. So till now we have done all the properties, but only thing we have left to access the disconnected. If any client got disconnected from your socket. So we are not accessing that disconnected message, right? So let us create the event socket.io. Event name is disconnect. So let us send socket.broadcast.emit and we'll say user disconnected. Clear? And we'll pass it to the response message as a response message. So if user is disconnect, it will receive this message in our client. So let me show you that. See, the last user is going to disconnect now. So we have to refresh and look at the chat connectivities here, the socket connectivities. Oh, sorry, it's getting disconnected. Let us say update. We'll connect it back. So we have WebSocket error. I think we have to cross check our server. Okay, so we have a property here. Okay, sorry. This must be socket.on, not IO. Am I clear? It's reconnected. Let us establish the reconnection. Connected back. Let me show you. If I'm going to, if one user got disconnected, see, are you guys clear? If those user got disconnected, immediately he'll get the message. So user got disconnected from the chat. Clear? Now you can notice how many active chats are present. WebSockets. See, we have a one individual server which establishes and which is connected to 4 clients. So now if you observe the sockets here, so we can able to see the WebSockets, connected WebSockets, including admin, totally 4. 1 admin, 3 users. And look at the rooms here. Is there any private rooms which we have created? Can you see? We have created the 3 different private rooms. Currently, these are all active. Clear? So until unless we're going to delete it, the status will be active. You got my point? So you can observe the whole details of your chat rooms. So you have to enable the show private rooms, then you will get the details here. And if you notice the client, so we have a 4 clients which is active presently in our application. So let me close the client here. See, is it updated? Have you noticed? So as we close the client, automatically the each individual clients will get disconnect. Okay. And here you can observe what are the event names, the events which we have created. Can you see who left the room? So the event has been sent. So what is the message? User disconnected. So which establishes the transport. Okay. So till now, what are the contents we have done? It will log all the contents which is happening between your individual sockets. Then if you notice your socket detail, okay, here it will display you the complete the information about your socket, which includes the name, the properties of all HTTP properties. So this is your socket ID, the client ID, okay, the private namespaces, whatnot. And here, if you want, you can write the room ID, and we can see already we have a room ID which is joined. And if you want, you can even write another room IDs, so you can make them to join to that room. Clear? Only 2 clients are present now. So till here, what we have done, So that's a very, okay. So there's a complete engineering behind your chat room. Clear? So now let us run the real application, that the chat application specifically designed using MERN stack. Okay, so till now what we have done, so we have tested the complete socket engine within a MERN stack only. Am I clear? So let me stop the servers. So we'll run the real application now, the complete MERN stack app. So we'll exit from these client chat rooms. Let me demonstrate you now. Yes, so it is okay. So first thing what you need to understand. So this chat application, so which is running in MongoDB client. Okay. So where MongoDB, which is your NoSQL database. So in this NoSQL database, so I'll explain you the complete the details about the database. So let me connect to the database now. I hope you can able to see the name of the database here, DB MERN chat application, which is running in real time. Okay. So in our chat application, we have a totally 3 tables here. So first table, which contains the register user details, the chat messages, and your individual chat rooms. Clear? If you're creating the chat group chats, individual chat, that will create the individual rooms. Okay, where it will hold all your user data. So if it is a group chat, the group chat property will get true. If it is an individual user, so it will just make it false. Okay, so I'll show you the complete schema diagram, because directly if you observe the collection, you can't able to understand what exactly the properties and all. Got it? So let me just run it. So yesterday we were facing the issue of the server connectivity. Okay, the database was not properly. So normally the DB freeware application will going to provide you the 512 MB of database. So but the bandwidth will be very less. So you have to keep your application active, otherwise it will be disconnected. Okay. So first we'll open the backend. Let me run it. npm run server. Can you notice here? So we got an issue with the database. It is not connected. We will migrate this to local database, which is possible. Let me check one more time. Yes, MongoDB got connected. Can you see? If you are getting this connection fail, the application will not fetch any data from the database. Am I clear? So now our database is successfully connected. So let me run the front end. So just if you have to call npm start in our React application to run our complete React application. So let me maximize it. So here in this application, so we have 4 windows here. So the first, we have 4 major components. So normally the application, the UI, what we're going to create, that we're going to consider as a component in React. So the first component, which we have a login window and we have a register. So one single UI, which will allow you to switch between the login and register forms. So there is a second window. So once you register, it will take you to the chat application, the desktop chat desktop. Right. So already I have a credentials. Let me use those credentials and log in. So I think in a sign up, you can able to observe here. We are going to accept the name, email, password, confirm password, and the upload picture. So which is an image of user. So let me just log in with the existing credentials, john@gmail.com. John123. Suppose if user has entered wrong password, can you see? We'll get the invalid authentication. Okay. Login successful. So now it enter into the user chat dashboard, where in chat dashboard, so we can able to see already the established chat groups. So in our current application, so this dashboard component contain 3 the individual components. One for search user, we can search the existing user here. Next, we can create the users list. The left side what you have, which is a user list. Right side what you have, chat window, and top right corner what you have, which is a profile. Will display you the profile details. Clear. And here you can able to see your latest any other messages. Suppose if you are getting disconnected, that will be sent as a broadcasting messages. So you can consider this as a notification. Okay. So let me see. The chat's already established between the Kelvin and John. Okay. So that group chat, the individual chat rooms, and look at the groups here. The war. And if you want to notice the users which is connected to this group, so there is a view button here. Okay. So we can able to see the users here, John, Mahesh, and Kelvin. Okay. Is that clear? And there is another individual chat and another individual group, star group, where you have a same 3 users. Suppose if I want to disconnect the one user from this chat group, say I want to disconnect the John. I can see. So John has left the group, and because he is the owner of the group, so the entire group will get disconnect or delete. Is that clear? So let me take another browser. So where we can connect the same server. And here I'm going to log in as Kelvin. Kelvin 123. That's my Kelvin password. Can you see? Don't save the password. Are you able to see the same groups and messages here? Even Kelvin is also part of the var group, but you can see here Kelvin is still a part of the star group because we have disconnected the John. Kelvin and Mahesh still exist. Okay, so let me take another browser. I want to join the same as a Mahesh. Mahesh@gmail.com. Say test 1, 2, 3. I think. Oh, let me check which password I've given. Mahesh 1, 2, 3 might be. Yes, perfect. See, look at the user, the Mahesh. In another window, you have a Kelvin. And another window, you have a John. Right? You're clear. See, there is no such individual chat which is established between the Kelvin and Mahesh and with any other users. Only there is an individual chat established between previous chat, Kelvin and John. So if I'm going to say, hi Kelvin, are you there? Just hit enter button and look into the Kelvin dashboard here. See, he has to select the John. What do you got? Is that same message what you got from the John? Right? And I can reply you. Yes, John. Can you see? See, we have to reselect. It will take few seconds to broadcast because we have given the delay time. We got it? Okay. So on each chat, what you are going to establish, we are going to store this chat room, chat messages, and user informations. So the three information in these three databases. Behind that, you have a same socket. Okay, so that we are storing these data for our future reference. Quite clear? Are you clear, guys? See, from Kelvin, if I want to establish another group chat, so look into the Mahesh. Hi, Mahesh. Kelvin here. See, look at the Mahesh now. See, he hasn't received any chats. He has to refresh. Can you notice? So we got a message. So though is not running in a real-time server, so the automated refresh, which is not happening because of our browser cache. If it is running in real-time server, so you can run the complete application in real time. Clear? Are you clear, guys? So this is what the API which we are going to build. Okay. So the UI for an application. So we have a lot of the properties. So in tomorrow's session, so you have to, okay, you just stay tuned. So we are going to build this API. So what are the sockets connection we have done today? So using those socket connectivity, so we will connect that to the real-time app. Okay. So presently, see, it is connected to localhost 3000, where we are running our present socket. Am I clear? Yep. Stay tuned. So tomorrow we'll continue the session. So is there any questions? You can just drop me the questions in your chat room. Any questions from your side? Yes, Viresh, I got the NPM error. So this NPM error is because of your operating system. So might be the operating system version which is not compatible for the current version of your modules. Okay, if you can connect our any other the admin team, and if you can come, okay, so we'll give you the another session so that we can resolve these technical issues. Yes, Jitnesh. You can unmute your mics. And if you have any questions, you can. So any other questions? Fine then, thank you all of you. So stay tuned, we'll continue tomorrow. You can log off from the meeting and chat will be on. If you have any query, you can just drop us a message in our queries.